Global Times, 16th of April 2024, Germany-China collaboration is not a market risk but a preventable opportunity. China is utilizing every available means to conquer Europe because it is desperate to control markets like that continent. On Tuesday, Chinese President Xi Jinping urged China and Germany to approach the growth of their bilateral ties from a long-term, strategic standpoint and to collaborate to bring more stability and assurance to the globe. Xi said this while meeting German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who had just finished a 3-day visit to China in Beijing after heading a large team to Shanghai and Chongqing. Amidst the claims of EU subsidies on Chinese wind turbines and EVs and the hype around overcapacity started by the US, Xi advocated for approaching the production capacity issue from an objective and dialectical standpoint. According to the Xinhua News Agency, the two presidents also thoroughly discussed other regional and global topics of mutual concern, including the Ukrainian crisis. Media accounts show Xi and Scholz strolling around the Dialectical State Guesthouse grounds on Tuesday in the gentle spring wind. Throughout Scholz's visit, which included visits to the China operations of German corporations and interactions with students at Shanghai's Chongqing University, an institution established by a German physician a century ago and closely associated with Germany, a cordial environment prevailed. According to Wang Yiwei, director of the Institute of International Affairs at the Renmin University of China, Scholz has maintained a strategic balance despite pressure from other parties like the EU and the US, as evidenced by his full and extensive schedule and his remarks on a few sensitive topics. China can give Germany the certainty it desperately needs as 3 uncertainties: the Ukraine crisis, the US presidential election, and the European Parliament elections, remain, Wang told the Global Times on Tuesday. China has always viewed Germany and the EU as allies. Some observers were surprised by the visit's positive outcomes, and Wang believes that Scholz's visit and the president's meeting brought much-needed stability to the previously tumultuous China-EU relations. Following a thorough engagement with China, it is hoped that Germany will continue to lead the reasonable voices inside the EU when a populist wind seems to be strengthening within the EU, leading to biased and hostile perspectives on China, analysts said. Chain of supplies. At the meeting on Tuesday, Xi mentioned how closely linked Germany's and China's supply networks are and how much their markets depend on one another. According to Xi, the mutually beneficial cooperation between China and Germany is not a risk but rather a chance for the future and a guarantee for the stability of bilateral relations. According to Xi, there is great potential for mutually beneficial cooperation between the two nations in established industries like autos and machinery production and cutting-edge industries like digital, artificial intelligence and green transformation. Xi stated that besides enhancing global supply and reducing inflationary pressure, China's exports of electric vehicles, lithium batteries, and photovoltaic products have also significantly contributed to the worldwide response to climate change and the transition to a greener, low-carbon economy. Xi said that the two sides should continue to uphold the distinctive qualities of mutual benefit and win-win outcomes and achieve mutual success. Xi stated that the two countries should be on the lookout for rising protectionism, approach the production capacity issue objectively and dialectically from a market-oriented and global perspective, adhere to economic principles, and promote further cooperation. According to Xinhua, he pointed out that both China and Germany rely heavily on industry and support free trade and financial globalization. Scholz, for his part, stated that he was impressed by China's development achievements and the tight, practical cooperation between German and Chinese enterprises during his recent visit. He said that Germany is prepared to keep bolstering ties with China, expand bilateral communication and collaboration across various topics, and encourage people-to-people contacts in domains like education and culture, which are critical to the welfare of both nations and the global community. Germany is in favor of free trade and against protectionism. According to Scholz, Germany is prepared to actively participate in fostering the positive growth of EU-China relations as a significant member of the EU. Together with roughly 20 other business people from both China and Germany, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Chinese Premier Li Qiang attended the China-Germany Economic Advisory Committee Symposium in Beijing on Tuesday. Li emphasized that to facilitate more effective and seamless cooperation between the two governments and to support the long-term, steady, and robust growth of economic and trade cooperation between the two nations, the Chinese government is willing to collaborate with the German government. For the past 49 years, Germany has been China's top trading partner in Europe, and for the past 8 years, China has been Germany's top trading partner worldwide. The grand delegation, according to Sun Yanhong, a senior research scholar at the Institute of European Studies under the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, fully demonstrates the great importance Germany attaches to China, she told the Global Times on Tuesday. About the contentious EV issue, Wang said Scholz might better understand, after visiting Chinese plants, that affordable energy, technological innovation, and infrastructure, rather than subsidies, are what make the Chinese EV business competitive. He Weiwen, a senior fellow at the Center for China and Globalization, stated that China and Germany should concentrate on ways to increase the cake rather than how to divide it. Imposing punitive tariffs would be a lose-lose situation. If China and Germany can cooperate on the EV sector, that is to say realizing benign competition, it would stimulate the sluggish global economy. Sun emphasized the possibility of collaboration on more comprehensive green transformation, including artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, and intelligent manufacturing. According to Sun, China and Germany, the two countries with the world's second and third largest economies, have an international duty to foster collaboration and support the stability of global supply and industrial chains. In a previous interview, Helga Zeppler-Rouge, the head of the German political and economic think tank Schiller Institute, told the Global Times that adhering to these recommendations for de-risking would be suicidal for a country that depends heavily on exports like Germany. They are encouraging harmony. Amid significant geopolitical tensions and flashpoints, analysts emphasize that while China and Germany have distinct systems, cultures, and ideologies, their cooperation and communication are essential for maintaining the highest level of geopolitical stability and advancing world peace. Regarding the ongoing conflict in Ukraine that has caused significant costs for Europe, Xi put forth 4 guidelines to keep things from getting out of hand and to bring about peace as soon as possible. Preserving peace and stability should come first. We should avoid pursuing self-serving interests. Secondly, we ought to diffuse the situation rather than stoke it further. Third, we must stop escalating tensions and establish the conditions necessary for the return of peace. Fourth, according to Xi, we should lessen the adverse effects on the global economy and abstain from jeopardizing the stability of international supply and industry chains. According to spokeswoman Lin Zhen of the Chinese Foreign Ministry on Tuesday, China and Germany are dedicated to preserving the goals and tenets of the United Nations Charter, particularly the preservation of sovereignty and territorial integrity. This is a fundamental requirement for long-term security architecture and should be honored. According to Lin, China and Germany are willing to keep in regular contact and actively discuss the next high-level summit in Switzerland and other pertinent international events in the future. They also urge and support efforts to find a political solution for peace in Ukraine. Together, China and Germany demand the following: adherence to international humanitarian law, protection of civilians, early mutual release of prisoners of war, respect for the fundamental rights of prisoners of war, opposition to the use or threat of using nuclear weapons, opposition to attacks on nuclear power plants and other peaceful atomic facilities, and proper resolution of international food security issues without impeding food production and exports. The issue has caused political mistrust and has been a significant barrier to China-Germany and China-EU relations. Accordingly, Sun thinks President Xi's suggestions, especially about not utilizing nuclear weapons, can better clarify China's position and solidify the common ground. According to researchers, the crisis's high energy costs could keep the German economy from growing. At the same time, a potential Trump presidential run in the U.S. could cause hostility to resurface in the transatlantic relationship. According to them, the pressing objective is to reduce the effects of global tensions and uncertainty rather than igniting further hostilities or conflict. On Tuesday, Xi and Scholz also discussed other global and regional matters of mutual concern, including the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. According to Scholz, Germany is dedicated to maintaining the multilateral international order, advancing global peace and development, and avoiding conflict. It is also eager to improve communication and coordination with China and work together to address global concerns like climate change,